I didn't grow up poor, but we weren't exactly comfortable either. We lived in a small ranch-style house on a quiet street where everybody knew each other's names. The kind of neighborhood where kids rode their bikes in the middle of the road and nobody complained, where people waved from their porches and someone's dad was always grilling in the backyard. I'm 21 now, but this happened when I was 10, and I still can't sleep with my curtains open. Back then, life was simple. School during the week, cartoons on Saturday mornings, and Friday nights were sacred. My mom ordered pizza, my dad fell asleep halfway through movies, and if I had a friend sleeping over, we got to stay up later than usual. That Friday, my friend Lacey Holloway was staying over. Lacey lived 3 blocks away and practically lived at my house that year. She had messy brown hair, a laugh that sounded like a hiccup, and she talked a mile a minute. My mom barely looked up from the kitchen when we came running inside. "Shoes off," she said. "And if you spill soda on my carpet again, I'm banning sleepovers." Lacey grinned. "Yes, ma'am." We dragged our sleeping bags into the living room where the big box TV sat on a wooden stand. My dad had a shelf full of old VHS tapes, action movies, cheesy thrillers, and random stuff he recorded off cable. Lacey picked up one tape and squinted at it. "Is this scary?" I shrugged. "Dad says it's dumb scary." "Perfect." We microwaved popcorn, dumped it into a huge plastic bowl, and flopped onto the floor. Around midnight, my dad poked his head in. "Girls, keep it down after 12, all right?" "Okay," we said in unison. He pointed a finger at us. "And no raiding the fridge again," Lacey whispered. "He knows." I whispered back, "He always knows." We tried to stifle our laughter. The movie ended sometime after 2. The house was quiet by then. My parents had gone to bed hours earlier. The only light in the living room came from the street lamp outside the big front window. It cast this dull orange glow across the carpet. I remember thinking how calm everything felt. That's probably why what happened next messed me up so badly. I don't know what woke me up. No loud noise, no footsteps. Just that weird feeling like your body suddenly knows something's wrong. My eyes opened slowly. The TV was off. The cable box clock read 2:17 a.m. Lacey was still asleep beside me, wrapped halfway inside her sleeping bag. I rolled over and faced the window. At first I thought it was a shadow, then my eyes adjusted, and I realized someone was standing outside. A man. He was way too close to the glass. The streetlight behind him turned him into this dark shape. Tall, broad shoulders. His head leaned forward slightly like he was trying to see inside. He wasn't moving. He was just staring. My brain tried to convince me I was imagining it. Then the man shifted his weight, just a small movement, enough to prove he was real. My chest tightened so fast I felt like I couldn't breathe. I pulled the blanket closer to my chin and stared back at him. For a second, nothing happened. Then he tilted his head, slowly, like he knew I was awake now. I screamed. I don't remember standing up or grabbing Lacey. I just ran down the hallway screaming. "Dad, Dad, Dad." "There's a guy outside." My dad's bedroom door flew open. He stepped out wearing sweatpants, hair sticking up everywhere. "What? What's going on?" "There's a man at the window," I gasped. "He's right there." My mom appeared behind him, already panicking. "What do you mean right there?" My dad didn't ask anything else. He walked quickly to the kitchen, grabbed the cordless phone, and headed toward the front door. "Stay back," he said. Lacey had followed me into the hallway. She looked like she might cry. "I didn't see anything," she whispered. My dad flipped on the porch light and opened the door. The yard was empty, just the bushes moving in the wind. He stepped onto the porch and looked around. "Anybody out here?" he shouted. Nothing. He came back inside and locked the door. "You sure you saw someone?" he asked me. "Yes," I said instantly. He was right at the window. Lacey nodded nervously. She screamed before I even woke up. My dad rubbed his face. "All right," he said. "I'm calling the cops just in case." About 15 minutes later, 2 police officers arrived. One was older with a thick mustache. The other looked barely older than my cousin. They walked around the yard with flashlights. The younger officer crouched near the flower bed. "Hey," he said. My dad walked over. "What is it?" The officer pointed at the soil. Clear footprints. Deep ones. Looks like someone stood here for a while, he said. My stomach dropped. The older officer turned to me. You said he was right at the window? I nodded. Did you see his face? No, I whispered. It was dark. They checked around the house and along the fence, nothing else. Before leaving, the older officer said, just keep your doors locked tonight. Give us a call if anything else happens. For a couple days, everything seemed normal again. Then my dad got a phone call,
Hello?
blocked number.
Who is this?
He answered while standing in the kitchen. Hello? All we heard was breathing. Slow, heavy. Hello? My dad said again.
Is everything
Click.
okay?
The line went dead. The next night, it happened again. And the night after that. Sometimes the caller didn't say anything. Just breathing. One evening, my dad answered and put it on speaker. Who is this? He said. For a few seconds, there was silence. Then a rough voice spoke. You think you're real funny? My dad froze. What? You ruined my damn life. Click. The call ended. My dad stood there staring at the phone. My mom asked quietly, do you know who that was? He nodded slowly. Yeah. He told the police the next day. The voice belonged to a guy he had fired months earlier. A man named Ridge Halpern, who used to work with him at the manufacturing plant. Apparently, the guy had been let go after making some creepy comments toward a female coworker. After that, the calls got worse. You think you're safe in that house? Ridge growled during one voicemail. I've been watching you. Another call came late one night. I see your lights, the man said. Nice neighborhood you got there. That was when the police took it seriously. My dad started writing everything down. Dates, times, every voicemail. One night the phone rang again. My dad answered calmly, Ridge, you need to stop calling. Silence. Then the man laughed. You got a real nice daughter. My dad's face changed instantly. You listen to me, he said coldly. You stay away from my family. The line went dead. Within a week, the police had enough to get a restraining order. After that, the call stopped. No more breathing. No more threats. No more man outside the window. Life slowly went back to normal. But something in me never really did. I'm 21 now. I live alone in a small apartment. Every night before bed, I check my door twice. Then I check my windows. And sometimes when a street light hits the wall just right and a shadow moves across the room, I remember that night. Because once you wake up and see someone standing outside your window, watching you sleep, you never really forget it. I was 9 the first time I packed my backpack like I was running away from home, even though I wasn't. Friday mornings always felt different. School dragged forever, the clock ticked louder than usual, and all I could think about was the bus ride after the final bell. I'd sling my backpack over one shoulder, heavier than it should have been, stuffed with spare clothes, a toothbrush, my PS2 memory card, and whatever snacks I could quietly swipe from the kitchen when my mom wasn't looking. My life wasn't bad. That's important to say. Nobody was hurting me. My mom worked long shifts at a diner and did her best to keep things together. Our house was small, paint peeling in places, and the neighborhood had its share of problems, but it was still home. Sirens at night were normal. People arguing in the street was normal. You learned real quick which blocks to avoid after dark, even as a kid. But my best friend's place felt like another world. His name was Briggs Calderon. We'd met in 4th grade after he accidentally knocked over my lunch tray in the cafeteria. Instead of laughing like everyone else, he helped me clean it up and said, "Man, my bad." I swear I ain't usually that clumsy. That was pretty much the start of it. Briggs lived about 20 minutes outside town, down a long 2-lane country road where the street light stopped halfway through and everything got quiet real fast. The bus ride there always felt like leaving one world and entering another. Houses got farther apart. Traffic disappeared. By the time we turned onto Briggs's road, it was usually just the two of us left on the bus. The driver, this old guy named Mr. Donnelly, would glance at us in the mirror and say the same thing every time. "Last stop, boys. Don't go raising too much hell out there," Briggs would grin. "No promises, Mr. D." His house sat way back from the road at the end of a long gravel driveway. The mailbox leaned sideways like it was tired of standing up. Tall trees lined the driveway and swallowed sound so completely that once the bus pulled away, everything went quiet. Not peaceful quiet, heavy quiet. The kind that makes your ears ring. To me, the place looked huge. 2 stories, wide porch wrapping around one side, and an unfinished basement. Behind the house was a big stretch of grass that slowly turned into woods. And near the tree line sat 3 sheds. They didn't look like normal sheds. They looked wrong. Rough wood, crooked roofs, tiny square windows. Like someone built them fast and didn't care how they turned out. The first time I stayed over, I pointed at them and asked, "Yo, what's up with those little cabins back there?" Briggs shrugged like it wasn't a big deal. My stepdad built them. One's tools. One's junk. The other one, I don't know, man. Old stuff, I guess. Old stuff, I said. Yeah. Just random crap. Something about the way he said it made me uneasy, but I let it go. Inside, the house felt calm. Briggs's mom, Tawny, always had a box fan running somewhere, even in winter. At night, that fan became the only sound in the entire house. No TV left on. No lights in the hallway. When they went to bed, the house went completely dark. Pitch black, the kind of darkness that feels thick. That first strange night started like any other sleepover. We were in Briggs's room playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on his PS2 with the volume turned almost all the way down. Every few minutes, Briggs would pause the game and whisper, "You hear that?" Like his mom might be coming down the hall. Around midnight, he finally shut the console off. "I ain't even tired," he whispered. "Same," I said. After a minute, he sat up and said quietly, "You want to grab a soda?" We weren't supposed to drink soda that late. That alone made it feel like a secret mission. We crept downstairs barefoot. Every step made the wooden floor creak like it was snitching on us. The kitchen sat at the back of the house, and the entire wall facing the yard was glass. Big windows and a sliding door that looked straight out at the backyard in those sheds. Briggs opened the fridge. The bright light filled the room. That's when I saw it. A light. Faint. Inside the shed closest to the house. I slammed the fridge shut so fast Briggs yelped. "Dude, what the heck?" he whispered. "You almost chopped my fingers off." "There was a light," I said quietly. "In the shed." Briggs squinted through the glass. "Ain't no light. I swear I saw one." We both stood there staring into the darkness. Nothing. Just trees and shadows. Briggs rubbed his face. "Bro, you're tripping. Your eyes probably bugging out from that fridge light." I wasn't convinced. But after a minute, I started doubting myself. Then suddenly, the light came back. Not steady. Moving. Like a flashlight. It swung around inside the shed, bouncing off the tiny window and flashing across the yard. My stomach dropped. "There," I whispered. "Tell me you see that." Briggs leaned closer to the glass. "Yeah," he said slowly. "Okay, yeah, that's definitely something." We didn't move. The flashlight beam flicked around for maybe 30 seconds. Then it shut off. Complete darkness again. Briggs grabbed my arm. "Nay, man, we're going upstairs." We ran up those stairs faster than we ever had before. Inside his room, we sat on the floor with our backs against the bed. "You think it's your stepdad?" I asked. Briggs shook his head. "No way. He'd tell us if he was messing around out there." Neither of us slept much that night. The next weekend, I stayed over again. All day, we acted normal. Played basketball in the driveway, rode bikes, ate pizza. But that shed never left the back of our minds. That night around 2 in the morning, Briggs whispered from the other mattress, "You awake?" "Yeah, let's check again." We quietly went downstairs. The yard was dark. No lights, no movement. Briggs exhaled. "See? Probably nothing." I nodded, but something still felt off. And then one of the sheds moved. The door slowly creaked open. A tall figure stepped out. Even from the porch, we could tell something about him wasn't right. His clothes hung loose like they didn't fit. His hair stuck out in wild directions. He moved slow, hunched forward like his back hurt. My heart started pounding. "Briggs," I whispered. "I see him," Briggs said. The man started walking toward the house. Slow, dragging steps. Halfway across the yard, he stopped. Then he turned his head toward us. Even in the dark, I could see his eyes. Wide. "Hungry," I screamed. Briggs grabbed my shirt and we both ran inside, slamming the door behind us. We sprinted down the hallway yelling for his parents. Behind us, the porch boards creaked, like someone had stepped on them. We burst into Tawny and her husband Royce Calderon's bedroom, both of us talking over each other. "There's a guy outside. He came out of the shed. He's coming to the house." Royce grabbed a flashlight and a baseball bat and went to check the yard. When he came back, he looked confused. The sliding door was open, but nobody was outside. "Probably a raccoon or something," he said. "You boys got yourselves spooked." We didn't believe him, not even a little. We locked Briggs's bedroom door and stayed awake until morning. Years passed. We eventually stopped talking as much once middle school and high school pulled us different directions. Then, when we were about 17, Briggs told me something his stepdad had admitted years later. That night after we went to bed, Royce didn't just check the yard. He checked the basement too. And that's where he found him. The man from the shed. A homeless drifter, dirty, starving, freezing. He'd been hiding in that shed for days, sneaking into the house at night through the basement window looking for food. Royce told him to leave, and the guy ran off into the woods. No police, no fight, just gone. Even now, years later, that story still messes with my head. Because if we hadn't looked out that window, if we hadn't screamed, if we hadn't run to his parents, that man was already walking toward the house, and we were the only ones awake.